Well, there's something you don't always find in every clearance. A gun. Welcome back to the channel. It is another day, another clearance for us. It's a Monday morning. It's not as cold as I thought it was going to be, but it does look like it could possibly rain. We're in Banstead today, clearing out this bungalow behind me. So what I'll do, the guys are just getting the bags and the boxes off, ready for our day. But what I'll do, I'll just flip the camera around, just give you a little bit of a tour. Now, someone has said they want us to do a video on purely just how to do a quotation of a clearance. So I may do it on this one, I may not. The only reason I may not, I was planning to do it definitely, but they basically had a leak in the house since we last looked, and they've moved everything into the other rooms. It's kind of not ideal, I guess, to actually use this as a template to show you how to do a quotation, because it's all going a bit over the place. So I probably might leave that for another time, but let's show you anyway, and let's flick you around and show you some of the bits that are here. There's the main lights aren't working in the house because of the leak, but let me show you around anyway, and it's going to lighten up hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't rain either. So a bit young Harrison with us, and Kev with us today, a team of three of us today. We're just clearing off the back to begin with, because we still had a little bit of rubbish in the corner from a job from last week, which I didn't film. There's a little handful of stuff for the shop, and these are just our empty bags, our boxes, our Henrys. People keep trying to buy Henry Hoovers from us. Every time I see a video on here or Instagram, they keep trying to buy them off us, but they're not for sale, those ones anyway. So this is the garage, guys. This is like I'd say the worst room. I say the worst room in terms of like stuff, which we need to go through. This would be the most time-consuming room. There was someone who messaged me the other day as well. I think it's on YouTube about lawnmowers. I think it was on YouTube. So if it is you, shoot me a message if you're interested in that. It's she said it's all been surveyed, it's all working. Because I just forget who like so many messages from people. I just literally forget who's messaged me about what and when and where. But basically, the white goods are to stay. The rocking horse, annoyingly, is to stay. It's quite a nice one. Workbench to stay, but everything else is to go. So that's the garage. The kitchen, all the white goods are to stay, so that will save our backs. The lady has kindly left us some tea and coffee, which is quite nice. And as you can see, they basically, I think she said that's to replace 4 ceilings where the leak just came through. Her mother vacated the property and they didn't realise it was leaking. And so it's flooded the whole house basically. So, terrible. But I think, we got all these cupboards are full, so they all need to be gone through. And we will find some little bits in there. So as I said before, this room is all immaculate. It's cream carpets, and obviously it's all been ripped up, which in a way it makes it easier for us. I don't really want to get dirt on cream carpets, but a lot of this is staying. That's a bit of rubbish down there, but it's only the sofas and this table that are going in this room, because they've moved everything else into the other rooms so they can redo the ceilings and decorate. All of this here is all staying. So curtains are to stay. The bed base is to stay in here. So there's not a lot in here. There's literally a mattress, some bits on top and the bits in the cupboard. Now when I was here, when I looked at the job, there was some silver, which I went through it all just to identify what was silver, what was not. And I don't know if they've left it or not. Possibly they might have taken it, which is absolutely fine. It wasn't much. I would have given a bit of a reduction on it. But if I'm honest, it's only about 20, 30 quid's worth of silver, so it's not the end of the world if that has gone. Nice little cupboard. Look at that. We might find some vintage clothing in there. At least 3 Hoovers in there by the looks of it as well. So we'll go through that. This room is where they put most of the stuff. Now, I've given reductions on. There's these arts and crafts chairs. You can't see them properly at the moment. Later on, I'll get them all out. They're really nice. They've got rush seats. There's a set of 8, I think. 2 carvers and then standard dining chairs, and they're really nice. But everything in here to go, apart from, again, the bed staying, and there's 2 mattresses in there, so one of the mattresses has got to go, but the bed is staying, so everything else is to go in here. It looks kind of worse than what it is. You've got a load of stuff in here, which you need to go through. Boom, boom, boom. And then, as I say, the lights aren't working, so you can't see too much. But that unit's staying. That unit's staying. That unit's staying. That unit's staying. Everything else to go in here. Oh, there's one of the chairs, look, that I got. One of 8. Really, really, really nice. Just really good chairs. Really good chairs. As I say, arts and crafts. But I will get them out better in the light later and show you more. And I also gave a reduction. So my reduction, I gave £50 off for this chair. And don't quote me the name of these chairs. It begins with a B. It's like Barouge. Someone will know. I always forget the name of chairs. I don't know why I always forget names of things. But I do. I know what it is. I just don't know the name exactly. But that's a really nice chair. It's got like the ball and claw feet, which again I'll show you properly later, which is quite sort of Georgian style chair. And then I'll show you them later as well. But guys, we've got to go through all of this stuff. There's boxes of bits here, empty. But that's a nice box. It's a nice little box. So, as always, the lady is happy for us to do some filming. And it's all got to go. So we will work our magic. We will show you what sort of things we find. Along the way, I think Kev will quite happily start on the garage. Kev likes tools and things like that. Harrison likes to be outside. So I guess the guys can start in here or I start inside. And stay tuned, guys, and we will see what is to come. Well, there's something you don't always find in every clearance. A gun. Now, I have found my fair share in my time, so I like to think I'd know a real one if I saw it. Obviously, it is a real gun, but it's like it's a pistol gun. It's not. It doesn't fire real actual bullets. But obviously, when I first found one, I literally nearly called the police. I saw it in a cupboard and I thought, Jesus Christ. But now I sort of know if they're real or not. But, you know, the guys don't know yet. Let's go show the guys. Guys. Oh, no. I think we better call the police.
Why?
It's found something.
It's nice, isn't it?
That's nice.
I'm going to get away from the...
I wouldn't look down the barrel, mate.
No, I was trying to get away from you. Oh, BB gun. Replica?
Yeah, it's proper, like, weighty, like, you know, it's a decent weight. But yeah, it's, as I was saying, it's, we don't find many. Yeah, God, Harrison, have you killed? So episode of EastEnders. But yeah, it's, I was just saying to the guys on YouTube that I found a few in my time, and obviously I've never found an actual real one, but when you first look at it, underneath a blanket or something, you think, Jesus Christ, but obviously, yeah. But I'll put it to one side for now. If anyone comes in, anyway, catch you in a bit, guys. Bye. So I basically, all that is staying anyway, and the stuff over there, and it was this, I still got to go through the top bit of cupboard, but everything else is cleared in here, and I just want to quickly go through my way of sort of our process quickly. This is just a bag of rubbish, and it really is rubbish. It's like literally bits of paper, carpet, my old coffee cup. There's not much in there at all. So far, we've got 2 boxes of Carboot on the go. And this is just things like, it's not a proper picture of that, but someone buy the frame. Someone might buy the frame. You've got a BT hub. You've got just a box of just knickknacks. It's like, look, you've got little jugs, which borderline that is for the shop, but we've got so much at the shop that I'm just going to throw it into the Carboot pile. So there's 2 big boxes there, which will be full soon. The gun we've already discussed. These, we always get these. Sometimes, I've never had them, but sometimes they will be solid silver. I've never had one. If that was solid silver, it'd probably be 500 quid. 400 to 500 quid because it's so heavy, but it's not. It's just base metal. We'll probably get 20 to 30 quid for the pair of them. There's a, yeah. And then this is like, again, it's like borderline for the shop, but it's the sort of thing we can put on Etsy, just a whale, glass whale, paperweight, whatever you want to call it. We might get 20 quid for that on Etsy. Nice candlesticks. Candle holders. Nice brass ones. I still got the candles in them, but nice brass ones. Really well done. Nice weight to them. They'll be nice in the shop. They'll go. Probably get 20 quid for them. And then this is just such a lovely, lovely, lovely box. I love boxes, and this has got such a lovely mechanism here. Press that, opens out. It's like a little calligraphy set. And it's double layered, velvet lined. Just a good quality box. A nice, lovely, just a lovely looking box. Really, there's little things like that go to the shop. My only bit of silver, which we found is a silver thimble and a little sort of pill box, snuff box, trinket box, whatever you want to call it. It's just, you can't really see the markings, but it is marked there. So there only was a silver. But people ask me all the time, how do you know what's silver? How do you know what isn't silver? Let's get to the light. So when you open the cupboard, you see a load of silver bits. You think, oh my God, it's all silver. And it takes some time to like learn the process of silver. But one obvious sign that it's not silver is, if you can read that, it says EPNS. Now, the amount of times I'll go into the shop and say, oh, I've got all this silver, whether we're going to buy stuff or it's a clearance, because people see those markings and they think it's silver. EPNS stands for electroplate nickel silver. So it's basically just plate with it's silver plate, basically, is a short-term answer for that. And it's not something I put in a shop. It's really not going to be worth. At the car boot, I'll ask for £1 for that. Someone might get £5 to £10 somewhere for it. But it's not for us. That'll go straight into our car boot box. But when we find some better silver examples, I will show you a little bit more of markings. Not everything's marked always. If it's super old, it won't necessarily be marked. And that goes for jewellery as well. Any gold jewellery, it's not always marked. So that's something that I will show you the process of that as we continue our content. But for now, that just gives you a little bit of an insight into our process. Oh, this picture, look at that. How good's that? It's the only photo we found. Harrison will love that. He will absolutely love that. I don't think it's an actual photograph. I don't actually know what it is. It's on a board, but it's a weird finish. It's not an actual photograph, but I'm not. There'll probably be a name for that sort of image, but I don't know. But yeah, that's anyway. That's our little find in this first little room. So it's good. It's going good. Now this is a perfect example of something that I'd say the majority of us would probably disregard, throw into a car boot pile, charity pile, whatever. Because I've had similar before, I know to double check it. And this is an Oxford crossword solver. Whatever that may be, it's a crossword solver. It is what it is. I'm never going to use one. But you get a gut feeling, you think, well, I'm going to check this. Now, at car boot sale, I'd be lucky to get a £5 because I'll just say, give me a £5, take £3. Yeah, go on then. But actually, let's see what's sold on eBay. Let's get the sold prices up on eBay. Look at them. Now, I imagine there's a bunch of you that are watching this going, wow. Some of you will know. Some of you are going to be like full-blown resellers and will probably know straight away that's the sort of thing to look out for. But if it wasn't something that you knew about, you do now. And this is the whole point of this channel is to hopefully help people identify things. So there you go. There's one thing to look out for when you're at your car boot sales and charity shops. Little good money spinner, that one. Now I'm personally going to tackle this cupboard here. You can always see. So these sewing boxes alone, we will probably get like we generally sell them as they are, like full up, and we should get 30 to 50 quid for that one. Sometimes you get the ones with the big legs. I've got 75, 80 quid for them before, sort of full up with bits. But there's some nice clothing in here. Whether it be for the car boot or charity, I don't know yet. I don't know yet, but we're going to go through it all and find out what's vintage, what's not. But either way, for one thing for sure, none of that's being thrown. And you can guarantee none of that's being thrown. So let's get in this cupboard and we'll dig out and I'll show you what I find when we rummage. So just going, get stuff out the top of the cupboard. And just going to go through this tin of, well, it appears to be buttons. So, and this is like, I'm filming this now in the hope that we find something like really interesting and that you can like see it firsthand. But perhaps not. But I mean, I don't know if they colour-coded all their buttons, so that'd be quite handy. But buttons is something that we can take to the shop And we just have literally tins of buttons, and people dive in the buttons, and they we send them for like 10p each, something like that. Sometimes you get Vogue buttons, but I don't think there's, let's tip it out, I don't think there's anything hugely exciting here. And if yeah, a lot of these are like going to be like modern buttons, so I'm not that interested in the modern buttons. It's more like the vintage ones just go to the shop, so I'll dig out a few. The rest of them to just go into a box for Carboot. Because if I took all that to the shop like that, it just looks really, really messy, and I hate sort of the mess of things. So I'd rather have them all loose. It just looks a bit nicer. Sometimes we did start to colour code them, but then we realised it took a long time. And it's a waste of time, really, to colour code them. So we don't do that as much anymore. But these are cool when you've got a little packet like that that's got co-op on that. So I don't know when that'll be from. Maybe the 80s. They're probably more like 70s, 60s. So when you've got the packaging with them, look, they're so much more attractive. They're quite cool. So I'll pull all those ones out and a few of the others, and the rest of it I'll just put back into the tin, Carboot it. Someone can give me like, I don't know, £5 for the whole lot, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter, does it? As long as it avoids landfill. And then we're going to see what else is up in those cupboards, because there's something above those shelves there. So bear with me, I'm going to get it all down. So there was nothing in that one, and it's also a bit damaged. Still nice, but because of damage, I'm going to put it in the Carboot pile. And then this one is the last one. It feels really, really heavy. I haven't opened it yet. And it's obviously tiered. You've got 6 sort of layers, drawers to it. So let's see what is in here. So particularly the wooden ones, which they're not wooden. Any wooden ones, or the threads, we get pretty good money for. People collect them. Again, another thing that people collect. The plastic ones, not so much. I imagine these are just all going to be like, yeah, just so many bits. But what I will do with this, I will basically remove any like the real rubbishy bits to make it a bit neater. That's a cool little pamphlet thing, or what's little needles in it, has it? Yeah, look at that. Look at the size of that. See, that alone, that's a big old needle, that one. That alone is probably worth a bit of money. But I will basically pull out all the bits of rubbish, all these little bits of plastic, neaten it up, put it in the shop, put 40 quid in it, 50 quid, whatever. And someone could buy the whole lot and then go through it, and, you know, so that's like a job lot thing, but that's perfect for the shop. Absolutely perfect. Nothing of super high value. These are obviously bits off sewing machines, which sometimes I've had good ones of them. Sometimes I've got more money for the actual attachments than the actual sewing machine, so that's another thing to look out for. But yeah, I'll tidy that up, and then we're pretty much done in there. Well, I say that. You've got a bag of, it looks like Hoover bits, but there's a bag there, which feels quite heavy, whatever's in there. And the rest of it's just Hoovers. As I say, 3 Hoovers. Unless they're really good ones. There is a Dyson and a Bosch, so they are pretty good, but I don't know, might put them on eBay, might take them to the Carboot, might keep them for ourselves, I don't know yet, we'll see. So in that very heavy bag was a sewing machine, which is why it's so heavy. It is a Singer 357, not huge value, not like in terms of eBay, not really enough value for us to mess around with it, try and test it, and then sell it on eBay for such a big heavy item. Maybe £20 to £50 if you're really lucky. But it'd probably be near like the £20-25 mark for us. So that can go to a Carboot sale, and we get 10 to 15 quid for that. And I'd rather do that than mess around with eBay to get £20-25. There's no point. So that is our little Carboot sale pile collecting up. And even hangers, guys, even hangers. I'm saving the hangers as well. Not so much like the shop, little plastic shop ones, but these ones are good. And someone can have that for £1. Take the whole lot for £1. I don't care. It's just, look at all that. And we've got literally one little bag of rubbish, and the rest of this is all stuff that we're saving. And that's just one room and one cupboard. So we're doing really well. We're doing really, really well. So while we're going through this job, I get notification on eBay. If you watched my last video, you would have seen us some live eBay listings finishing, and the Commodore, which went for $380, which I thought was quite cheap, to be honest, with all the bits with it. Guys turn around, oh, I want to cancel it. He's already paid. He paid straight away. Then 2 days later, this morning, emails me. I've been looking into it. They're prone to something leaking. I don't even know what he said. So I need a refund. Once it's straight, immediately. You know, you just think, well, you're because you had all that time to decide and look into it. It's on there for a week. You had all that time to research it. We had 36 watchers, I think it was, on it. Other people were wanting it. And he you know, he wins the bid and he wins it and he wants to cancel it 2 days later. And you just think, it's not the end of the world. Don't get me wrong. It's not the end of the world. It happens. It doesn't happen very often, actually. But it's just annoying. It's just annoying. And I'm sure we all have it as well. People messing around with sending things back and cancelling bids. But it's just really frustrating that that's quite a lot of money for us. And that's like it's our livelihood. We need eBay, obviously, to make ends meet each month. And when something like that happens, you just think, some people just don't care. And if you don't want it, that's fine, but don't bid on it and don't pay. And then, you know, so that's quite frustrating. But what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to relist that as a buy it now for like $450, because I genuinely think that should be more than what it got anyway. We'll list it at $450 and see what happens. But one of those things, So I've now just gone through the sewing box. You can see I've just neatened it up. I've got to throw a few more bits in there, but I've just neatened it up basically, just to make it look a little bit nicer. I've left some bits in there. People can still rummage through it, but I'm going to set it as a job lot. But one thing I did find, just tucked in the corner, the last thing I actually found was another thimble, which is a nice thimble, but it is marked. It is marked silver. So I'm going to try and talk you through here what's what. So the first bit, like the maker's, that'll be the maker's name. So I can't keep everything still to show you properly. I need a bigger piece of silver. But you'll generally have the maker's name. Now this is British Sterling silver. Sorry, it's not silver. Because you can see it's got the lion in the middle. So that's like the British sterling hallmark. It has an anchor. So every bit of silver will have, the English silver will have a mark. It might be an anchor. Can't think top of my head, the other markings. But this is Birmingham. Anchor's Birmingham. Chester is like a building of some kind. I can't even think. When I see the markings, I know what they are straight away, but I can't think what they are off the top of my head. Then you get a letter with a squiggly box around it, and that is a date mark. I am not good enough to know what. I know where it's been made. I know it's English silver. I don't know the makers from that, JS and something, and I don't know the date without looking it up. It looks like the Queen's head maybe, but anyway, we can look it up. I think it's like a coronation. Maybe, I don't know, it's a coronation one, so it's got 1955 there, so I can't assume it's made in 1955, but or 53, it more than likely is. But that's a really heavy one, so we easily get 20 quid for that alone, easily, maybe a lot more actually, because of what it is, but we'll look it up. But yeah, that's another cool little find, so that will go to the shop. Sewing Susan, and look at this inside, how fantastic, look at the colours, a sort of vibrant foil, all full up with needles. I just feel like you just don't get things like this these days. This is the sort of illustration of that. Both sides, Sewing Susan. I just love it. Absolutely love it. That's proper 60s, that is. So I'll just pop into the garage to see how the guys are getting on. And basically, yeah, they're sort of, I mean, we know that this is a stain anyway. What's all that there, guys? That Carboot or a mixture?
Carboot, there's some stuff for you to look at.
Okay.
Around about here.
Okay.
Scrap.
Yeah. Just stuff. It's not for rubbish, basically.
No.
Fine. Considering this was the worst room, it's we're getting through it pretty well. Look at that nice box of handles. They'll go well. They'll get snapped up at the car boot. They will. Someone will love all of those. Yeah, we've got all those to go through. So yeah, the guys are doing well. As I say, this is the worst room in terms of sorting through things. This is going straight to the shop. Little corner wire, whatever you call it, thingamajigger. Never had one, a corner one like that. There's nothing really in that room. Cupboard's done, that room's done, that room's done. Now I'm in these two rooms. So let's begin in here and see what this room uncovers. Very exciting. So just quickly attacking the kitchen, we just like get what we do in the kitchens. If the tops are empty, we'll get everything out the cupboards, put them on the tops like Harrison's doing. And it just makes it so much easier for us to like identify what's what. Obviously things like coffee mate, which has been used probably out of date, I haven't looked, will go to the bin. You can't do anything with that. But then a bunch of this will be good stuff. Some bits for the shop. A couple of these old wooden placemats, bread balls. I don't know if we're going to find any more. We've got two of them. They're quite nice. Corkscrews, not a particularly old one by any means. However, there are collectors of corkscrews. That's probably not the most collectible one, but still something to put over the shop. And then silver, more silver. Barely any weights, missing its inside part, so it's probably not going to be usable. It is marked at the bottom. You can just see the markings there. Honestly, there's probably £5 to £8 of silver there. There's not a lot. But still, it's a step in the right direction. And then amazingly, this is silver as well. Again, I'm trying to show you the markings of this, just so we can, you can just about work it out, I guess. No, that's all right, mate. But yeah, it's got your markings on there. So that is a nice bit of silver. Again, not loads of value, maybe 12 quid. But if there's 20 quid in them two bits, then happy days. That's good. Because you're not going to use it. It's a scrap. It's got paint on it. That'll take a gram off it. And then, yeah, but we'll see. I don't think there's much more in here. Kev's there doing that side. And I still need to go finish off the other rooms. But, yeah, we've got to go through all that as well. There's plenty. That's all carbon from what I can see, pretty much. And that's all good. It will do someone a good turn. Slowly working my way around this room, and we've got a nice bag of scarves. There's some other little bits for the shop in here. There's really not much at all so far. Big job lot of costume jewellery. No gold or silver, but people still buy it. That'll be a fiver for someone at the car boot. All our car boot there. That's all empty now. I just opened this, and then basically, yeah, we've got to go through all this now. So I'm going to take a punt and say that's all costume jewellery. I doubt there'll be any, basically precious stuff in here, any precious metals. I'll be very, very surprised if there were. But either way, we'll have a look through, and it's got to be cleared anyway. So I don't know if these are, some bits in there as well, which we'll go through. You know what, sometimes even the boxes are nice. It's not going to be anything in these, but even the boxes are nice, like for a watch, a chain, whatever, so we can put that into the shop box, and when we get something to marry it up with, we can. It just makes it a little bit nicer for us. So, but anyway, we're going to go through all this, and then we'll let you know what we come across. So we now got rid of the bed in here. Going through all this lot here, there's some books, a bit of rubbish. Some photo albums, modern photo albums, which I'm not hugely interested in, but people do buy them still, so I won't throw them. But there's 2 or 3 older albums, and Harrison is just looking through what's here. He hasn't actually seen a lot of this yet, but these are, I mean, look at that. Look at them photos, look. These are just fantastic. And these are like original photos. They're not like copies as such. These are proper photos, which I imagine are around the Second World War. There's no dates on these ones in particular. But just fascinating. I mean, look at this starts to look a bit more. It's still looking like 40s, maybe into the 50s, I'd say, in that one. But, so this is what I mean when we're doing photos. Not all families want them, for whatever reason that may be. So we will take them, and we will enjoy them, and we will find new homes for them. It's literally it's social history. It's our history. It's just fantastic. What a lovely, lovely album. What a lovely album. So that'll go to the shop. And as I say, there's a little one there, and there's another bigger one in the box there. So fantastic. Love it. Loving it. So that half of the room is all done now. I just got to get into these cupboards and wardrobes. I mean, they're all, yeah, pretty full with clothing and what have you. So we go through all that. Bit of a delay because I just had to take some phone calls. And this is all part of running the businesses, is you don't stop getting phone calls and emails. It doesn't stop. I've got to attend to that as well as doing the clearing. And I've just basically got to go look at another job in 2 weeks' time. I think it's Wallington. But he wants me to clear it the week after that. So I've not only have I booked the job to provide a quotation, I've also booked in the actual clearance. And when I do that, 9.9 times out of 10, they always use us. Unless our prices are just ridiculous, which they never are. But anyway, more stuff in here. So let's go through what we have here. I've got a nice big tub somewhere over there of costume jewellery, which I'm piling up. But the guys are loading the van up with the rubbish what is there. And we're going to continue to go through all of this and get done. So Harrison's just jumping out. I've nearly done the other room now. There's only about another 10 items of clothing to go through. Harrison's just going to start sorting out this room. But look at that. These are the kind of books, Judith Miller books, not so much Reader's Digest, but Judith Miller books, Miller's Antiques books is the exact thing that I used to read when I was mid to late teens, early 20s, up to now. Because of my sort of dyslexia and ADHD, I really struggle to read. I can read, but I struggle to take it in. So for me, and not even realising that I had that as well for the most part, for me, these books were just the main point that I use to gain the knowledge I have. And it's probably quite obvious why, because they're just full of pictures. Each sort of category, will be categorised. Household and kitchenalia. Kitchenalia is a thing, is a word. And basically I would go through and just look at things, look at the style of it, look at what it is. And then I can read, like I'd read that up, but it just means I probably wouldn't necessarily retain the information that I'm reading. So a lot of what I do now, yes, obviously I gain knowledge and but that's mainly from my own research. But a lot of what I do now partly is by the subject of what the shape is, what the material is, and I can gauge sort of a decade to it. It's kind of a funny, I guess it's a different way of learning and my approach. And obviously then that just turns into, once you've seen something enough times, it just very, very naturally, you know what something is. This is just, yeah, brilliant. It's just, I could literally sit here all day looking through this. Proper 1950s. We've had some of these plates before. These are just real typical 1950s style, a lot of this. And obviously then you go into the 60s. But it's got clothing in here, glassware. It probably had like jewellery and that in here as well, I'd imagine. Bits of the Titanic, cameras, and this is where I gained most of my knowledge initially. Obviously nowadays, I'm literally picking things up. You look at that, you think, oh, that's nice. Turn it over. Oh, it's resin. You know it's resin. I would have known it was resin anyway, but just to give you an example. And that is, for anyone who is similar to me in terms of the way you learn, Miller's Antiques books, guys, are just so good. Honestly, I can't tell you how good they are. And obviously TV shows are also good, but grab a Miller's Antiques book. So sometimes it looks worse before it looks better when we're doing the clearance. But this is now organised. Apart from that's rubbish. But apart from that, all of this is either car boot or bits for the shop. Apart from these cushions and that. I was hoping to save these chairs, but it's not as bad, this one. But it's still... The arms are so... You can't see it as well on here, but the arms are so worn that I can tell you now, charities will not accept them from us. So we're going to have to throw them. So we're going to do that now, and then I can get off to the tip, and then the guys are going to finish packing up, and then we're nearly done. So the van is now loaded with all the rubbish. So I'm going to go off to the tip now. It's about getting on, just gone 12. I just feel like the last hour or so just feels like it's taking so long. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I don't know, just sometimes it does that. Sometimes you speed through it and all of a sudden the time just goes. And I think it's just like, because you're just getting so tucked into it, you just forget what the time is. And but anyway, I'm going to switch to the tip on my own. I'll probably grab something to eat on the way there. The guys are going to finish off packing things and then move it all into the garage. So when I pull up, it's just a case of literally getting everything on. So that'll be handy. And then we're going to throw it on. It's Monday today. Tomorrow I'm having a catch-up day because I just haven't had any catch-up days. So tomorrow we can put it on the van tonight or this afternoon and leave it on there till tomorrow. We'll sort out the whole van tomorrow. Need to load up for the Carboot for Wednesday tomorrow and do other errands. Tomorrow's a proper catch-up day, which I haven't had for a while, because usually we'll have to make sure the van is empty today, ready for the next job, which at the moment we can't do because all the garages are full. So I need to have a catch-up day, catch-up week, and crack on with that. But anyway, for now I'm going to go and get this van emptied, get something to eat, come back and load up, and we'll finish up with a video, show you what's what. I think we've found about 2 boxes of bits for the shop, which isn't loads, but that's fine. A little handful of clothing, and obviously all the chairs and that, which were already discussed. So we've got a decent bit sort of saved up. So but anyway, let's go to the tip. So I'm back now. And just for those of you who may be interested, we just threw off that rubbish. So when we go to the tip, you get charged a minimum charge. Generally, most tips are half a ton. There are some that don't, but most of them do, and some will even charge you a minimum of a ton. So we try to avoid those tips, but most tips will charge you a minimum of half a ton, whether it's wood or general waste. We didn't have enough wood to warrant the minimum charge, if that makes sense. So if we threw 200 kg off and it's half a ton, then we're wasting money. There's no point. So today we just threw it all off together, the wood and the general waste. It still gets recycled separately when you get down there. It just costs a little bit more for us, as everything is. As it's getting thrown off, they have big diggers and people, and they take it all separate it all as it comes off. So it's not just like thrown into landfill by any means. So we threw off roughly about a ton, I think, give or take, 3 mattresses. And that just cost me £266 to throw that. So that gives you like a little bit of an understanding as to why we charge. Because I have had people say before, like, do we charge for our services? Can't we do it for free? Obviously not, particularly not on this job. Because I'm not going to make much money from this job for natural clearance, actually. I reckon I'm probably only going to make 150 quid today, after tax, which, don't get me wrong, it's still a lot, but it's still going to be it's going to be a 10-hour day. So it's not a lot in that respect, when you think about it. When I've got everything else I've got, I'm running the business. However, I have given a £200 discount on the job. So had I not done that, I would have been walking away with £350, which would have been a very, very good day. But I gave a reduction because we got things that we can sell on. So the chairs that I've shown you, and we're finding other bits and bobs as we go along. So yes, I might be making £150 for an extra clearance, but I'll make a load more money from the stuff. But then it's still a whole other process where it's got to go to the shop. I have to pay rent at the shop. I've got to pay staff at the shop. I've got to pay different sort of tax at the shop. So it's a whole process. So it's not as easy as picking that stuff up and selling it to someone, wherever it may be. There's still overheads with those items. So there's a long process. But when you think, if you can do enough of these jobs and make that a little bit on each job, then over a year you're making a big bit. You know, you're making a big bit of money. And I said in my videos before, there's people who say I wouldn't get out of bed for that, 150 quid. Well, stay in bed then, and I'll go and do it. Because even if I made £100 a day, it's still £100 more than what I would have made sitting at home picking my nose all day. So it's you just got to look at things sometimes and think. And this hasn't been the most enjoyable job I've ever done, but it's still been enjoyable. The weather hasn't helped at all. I hate it. I just hate it when it's raining. But as I say, if you want to sit at home and say, I wouldn't get out of bed for that, honestly, stay in bed, because someone else will. And I see it's another job done. We're doing another good job. That person will recommend us. 100%. They'll use us again on another clearance that they require us on. Our van is down this road. It's sign written. People are seeing it. I can create content for YouTube, for Instagram, for TikTok, for Facebook. All this stuff, you know, you might only be making that, but actually you're achieving so much more. Or you can achieve so much more. It depends on how you work. You've got to be clever with it. That's the thing. So it's not always just about making money. Sometimes it is about getting your brand and what you stand for out there. So there's more to it than meets the eye. But I'm going to go see the guys. We're going to start loading up this van and then loading up the van. And then that is it for the day. It's 2:30 now. Probably be finished at 4. Get home at 4:30. Something like that. I don't know. Give or take. But whatever. Even if we finish at 6, it is what it is. Let's get cracking. That is it. We're done now. We've had to park down a side road. Which we don't usually park down because there's no spaces, but it's 4 o'clock. So we've had 3 of us on that job. Took us literally a day. Just horrible weather though. It's still raining now. It's just been raining all day. It's just miserable. Does make the job harder, but that is it, guys. I showed you more than what I probably usually show you on that job. Told you more a bit about our process. Showed you a load more of our finds that we found. And now the van is fully filled up, and we need to empty that tomorrow. As I say, a catch-up day tomorrow. We're going to sort the van out. We've got some stuff to go to the charity shop, some of the big bits, bunch to go to the R shop. A bit of scrap needs to come off, and then we need to fill up the rest of the van with Carboot, ready for Wednesday as long as it's on. And then of course we will do a video for that for Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. But hopefully you enjoy this one. Some parts look exciting, I guess, but some parts not so much. But I'm giving you a big variety of what we do because no day is the same. Every day's different. We are lucky enough to have jobs where there's so much variety going on. So I want to share that with you guys. If you haven't and you enjoy our content, please subscribe. Helps us out a lot. Otherwise, just come back. Pop back every now and then, see what we're up to. Stay tuned for more, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you.